This video is designed to help you successfully use learner-centered education techniques in your lessons. Scenes from nutrition education classes will show you how learner-centered education works in a group setting. Learner-centered education is an interactive way of teaching that focuses on the needs and interests of the learner. In learner-centered education, the learners identify what they want to learn about the topic and actively participate in the lesson. The educator facilitates the learning process. One of our educators, Gina, explains why learner-centered education works so well with her participants.
It creates community, and this population, that's what they do when they're seeking out information. Most agencies create community and create not just a one-person teaching, but a reciprocal teaching and learning situation. And I think that's the way this population learns and takes action on what they've learned the best.
Learner-centered education is based on 4 principles. These principles are called the RISE principles. Let's look at them and see why they are so important to the learner. Learner-centered education is respectful. People need to be valued for who they are, what they know, and where they have been. We can learn a lot from the experiences of others. Learner-centered education is immediately useful. The educator considers what the participants already know and focuses on what they would like to learn. The lessons provide information that learners can use right away. Learner-centered education is safe. People are more open to learn in a classroom where they feel comfortable and free to ask questions and share their views. Learner-centered education is engaging. Participants are involved in the learning process. The hands-on activities are fun and the environment is friendly. Smiles, laughter, and questions let you know that your learners are engaged. These principles are an essential part of the learner-centered approach. It is important to apply them as you plan and deliver the lesson. Let's begin by planning for the lesson. A great deal of time will be spent in this phase. It assures that you will be prepared and ready to go on the day of the class. Our first step is to find out about your learners ahead of time. Here are some of the things Gina learned about her learners before class.
The focus here is the Learning Center, mainly to get people prepared for their GEDs, possibly to get off of AFDC, so they're moving off of welfare. They're making some huge life changes, both physically and emotionally.
Here are some ways to find out about your learners' needs before setting foot in the classroom. When working with adults, ask the agency director about their clients and what they want to learn. Go to the agency website to find out more about the population they serve. Visit the community resource center that serves your learners. Some of our most effective nutrition educators say that these are the best ways to assess your adult learners' needs ahead of time. When working with schools, ask the teacher or principal about the school's needs. Ask the parents about their children's needs. Check the school district or Department of Education websites. These sites often provide helpful information, such as the number of students receiving reduced-cost lunch or other special nutrition projects in the school. When working with both of these groups, remember to put yourself in the place of your learners.
I kind of come up with a plan, and then I think of how would I do it professionally, and then how would I do it if I was just in a class with them, if I was learning right along with them.
It is also important to know the place where you plan to teach. Visit the location in advance. During your visit, take note of the following. What is the room like? Can the furniture be rearranged? How good is the lighting? Is there a safe place to prepare food? Are there other safety issues? The more you know about the location, the better prepared you will be on the day of the lesson. Let's continue on our journey by setting the stage for learning. What your learners see and hear when they arrive sets the mood for the rest of the lesson. It tells the learners, "Welcome, I have been expecting you." Here are some things to think about when getting the room ready for your lesson. Display a welcome sign. Set the table. Use a colorful tablecloth or props that relate to the lesson. Arrange the furniture so the learners sit in a U shape.
My name's Jenny.
Play music as your learners enter the room. Have all of your materials prepared and ready to go before class. When the learners arrive, remember to give them a warm welcome and greet them by name.
Good. Jenny.
Renee.
Renee. Nice to meet you, Renee.
Now you are ready to deliver the lesson. Here are some techniques you can use to establish a safe learning environment in your classroom. Set ground rules. This is a good way to start the lesson. It lets the learners know what behavior is acceptable during the lesson. Let's see how Jenny uses ground rules with her class.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do an activity. And what I want you guys to remember as we're doing this activity is the ground rules that we established last time that we met. Okay, so we've already established our ground rules, which are be respectful, one person speaks at a time, what's said here stays here, and take care of yourself. So keep these things in mind as we go through this activity. Okay, so what I want you to do,
anchor the topic to the learners' lives. You can do this by using a warm-up activity. Let's see an example.
So, when you think of nutrition, what comes to mind for you?
I'm Pam. I have 2 kids. My daughter's 14, my son's 16, and they don't like vegetables or fruit because I never gave it to them when they were little. I don't know, once in a while we have a can of corn or something, but it just wasn't, we were like fast food junkies. When they were growing up, I was always in a hurry. So now I'm trying to get them to, try stuff.
Ask the learners what they want to know about the topic. Be ready to tailor the lesson to meet the group's needs.
But now we'll get to the part to what do you want to know? What is it that you want to know about nutrition or physical activity? What would you like to get out of these classes today?
What really is considered a balanced meal?
Okay, what is a balanced meal?
Once you have established a safe environment and anchored your learners, you can challenge them to share what they know and to fully participate in the lesson. Asking open-ended questions is a technique you can use to maintain safety and participation as you lead the lesson. Learners are more inclined to answer open questions since they have no right or wrong answer. Let's see an example of using an open question.
Now, how could you involve your children in this? What would you like to do with your child? What kind of jobs could children do?
They can put the vegetables in them after they've already been chopped. Depending on the child's age, you can even let them chop them. Or they could do the mixing.
Remember to pause after asking the open question and wait for a response. This allows the learners time to process what they have been asked and respond. Keeping on track with the lesson is not easy. As you encourage discussion, your learners often share thoughts that take the group off track. The technique, affirm, add, and move on can be used to get the class back on track with a lesson. Let's see how Jenny skillfully uses this technique.
and we're going to talk a little bit about whole grains today. Okay, does anybody have any questions before we move on? Yes.
I just saw something on TV about the Honey Nut Cheerios being whole grain now. Does that mean that it's good for you to actually buy that instead of the regular ones?
Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at label reading and how label reading can be a tool to identifying what are good choices from the grains groups. I think this is exactly what you're talking about, where it says whole grains. So we're going to look at this and see what this means, okay? But we're going to get a chance to do that in depth in just a few moments, okay?
People learn the most when they take an active part in the learning. Give your learners hands-on activities to apply the new skills they have learned in the lesson. Some examples of effective learn and apply activities are working in pairs, small group discussion,
Okay, are
games.
you guys ready? Are you just about done? Almost? Okay. Does anybody need any help or?
food demonstration.
Do you want to open these?
Practicing new skills in class makes it more likely that your learners go home and apply what they have learned to their lives. The last part of our journey is the takeaway message and goal setting. These techniques encourage your learners to select the most important piece of information they learned and think about how they will use it in the future.
What I like to call these action step that we're doing today, I like to call it a WOW. And it actually stands for within 1 week. Okay? So what you're going to write down on the back of that piece of paper, I hope I just used the right pen. I did, okay. Is going to be something that I'm going to help you figure out an action step in order to accomplish that goal or make that become real within 1 week. Okay? And those are steps to accomplishing a goal.
Here are a few things to remember when setting a goal. The goal should be challenging but attainable. The goal should be specific. Remember to include when, how often, and how much. Encourage participants to select a short-term goal.
I'm really just asking them, how can they get excited within 1 week? And it's not about, here, you do this, or here, I'm going to give you this goal, and in 7 days you tell me whether you accomplished it or not. It's, I think having the acronym as the WOW within 1 week kind of helps them see that this is about them. This is about their excitement, their passions, what they want out of their life. And they can attain it and share it. And it can be just one thing in 7 days, and it seems to be attainable.
Learner-centered nutrition education gives you the ability to motivate and inspire your learners to eat well and live healthier lives.
But the choices that you make are the most powerful tool you have. Okay? Your choices to come to these classes, your choices to gain education, whatever your choices are today, that is your most powerful tool.
By using learner-centered education, you can make a difference in your learners' lives.